Good evening, everyone. It's raining and it's wet outside, so we're not doing nothing outside. We're actually going to hang out in the garage this evening, and I think I'm going to do a walk around and do some talking about my splitter. It's something that I have, I guess, retrofitted or rebuilt. I bought this splitter for 500 bucks about 15 years ago. The only thing that's still original on this splitter is the one set of tires back by the engine and the splitter beam. That's the only thing that's still original on this splitter. I had over the years slowly modified it and changed this and changed that. And finally, I think I've got it to where I want it to be. Um, I've now got it to where I'm down. I've got my cycle time down almost to where I want it. I really need to get a different cylinder to speed that cycle time up with bigger ports. But I'm going to talk a little bit about what I had done and what I've retrofitted, what I've changed. Um, there's some stuff in here you can see I've taken ideas from Easton Made, stuff I've taken ideas from Wolf Ridge, um, just a little bit of everything that I've pieced stuff together to make it my own. They make really, really good products. I'd love to have one, but unfortunately, I like to build stuff too. So here we are. I'll get to it. The one thing that I have done that I really, really like is the fact that I finally ended up, well, let me back up a little bit. At Hoosier Firewood Hysteria, my old wedge design, wedge box, all that stuff that was going to be hydraulic, I ended up breaking it off the end of the beam. I had a flat plate welded to the end of the beam with my box stitch welded to that, and it lasted for a year and a half like that until I found a piece of cottonwood. That piece of cottonwood just did it in for it. So when I got back, I redid everything, got rid of all that stuff, and basically started from the end of the beam out, completely redoing it. That's whenever I added another set of axles to it, which was intending to be the only set of axles in the rear, which those axles actually come off of a John Deere Batwing bush hog. When I used to work at John Deere, we'd have to pull them axles off, and they were going to throw them in the scrap bin, so I took them. I ended up, a friend of mine got me some pictures of his splitter, and and got me some dimensions and different stuff of how I needed to do it. And I kind of copied an Easton Made wedge design, wedge holder, wedge design, and rear axle, like what's on a kind of. I also seen Marlins from Twin Rivers Wood Products at Hoosier Firewood Hysteria, and really liked how they designed it. So I added a 1 inch wedge box that goes on each side of the beam, goes up underneath the beam, all the way. It goes a foot up into the beam and is welded top, bottom, all around. And then the wedge box goes all the way back with 1 inch plate in the rear. With it's slotted all the way down, just like I got the same wedge design as what an Easton Made does, and it has worked flawless. I made the table similar to what a um, Easton Made is, except for I used Wolf Ridge's design of having a grate on the back to sift out the fines. So that kind of gets me talking through the back of it. And it's pretty plain, cutthroat, and simple. I had intentions of taking that set of axles out, or that axle out, and leaving it. But then I realized it's kind of convenient because I still tow it from that end. And I don't tow this thing down the road a whole lot. I really just tow it around my wood yard at the house. If I go anywhere, I load it on a trailer. Sorry for the jittery camera skills. So, anyways, after I done that, I thought, you know what? I'm just going to leave that axle on there. So I left it on there. Um, I did. I was going to redo my pusher, which I will at some point someday. That's the original pusher that was on this thing. That pusher is probably 30 plus years old. It's got some wear to it, but it keeps on pushing. So moving further towards the rear, I have added a Prince auto cycle valve that I ordered from Surplus Center Hydraulics. I also, a friend of mine give me a commercial, 3-section commercial valve that is off of a Prentice 120 log loader. I added that valve to it. That valve I put on there used to be my only valve that I had on the splitter, but I did not have auto cycle, didn't have nothing. I did at one point had detent out, detent back, but it never would kick out. So it's kind of a pain, but it worked. It was easy means of doing it. But I since then changed it, and this valve now runs my wedge lift or my log lift, and this runs my wedge lift. I have it set up that way in the future. If I wanted to add anything else, I've got one more section. Then when you move back, I've got a 15-gallon hydraulic tank here and a 4-gallon hydraulic tank that is down in the axle tube. Gives me a total capacity of about 19 gallons. I still need to add a cooler, but my engine don't have enough charging capacity to handle a cooler. So I've got to do something with that, whether I change the charging system on my engine or if I put a new Vanguard engine on there, which I think I'm really leaning towards the Vanguard engine. That's for a later day. I was still wanting to get my cycle time down. I had a friend of mine who had an American CLS splitter that they warrantied his cylinder out and told him to keep the cylinder. So I took and robbed there was nothing wrong with the cylinder. It was just the end cap, actually it was the barrel, the end of, or the rod, the gland cap had actually busted the fitting off of the end of it where it goes in, the pipe fitting goes into it. So I pulled my original cylinder apart, took my rear base off of it, which is a dual port. So I'm actually running 2 ports in on the base to increase flow capacity because this cylinder only has 1/2-inch ports. And on the rod end, I had to use my rod end gland cap, put it on there, and I ended up ordering, at that same time, I ordered a regen valve and a dump valve from Ryan Beringer from Federal Fluid Power. That got my cycle time down. Now I'm running a 22 gallon a minute pump, 4-inch cylinder, and I've got my cycle time down to about 5.5 seconds. Um, for a homemade splitter, I feel like that's pretty decent. I would like to be down a little quicker. I would like to be down like 4.5 or 5. And I think when I add another 4-inch, a different 4-inch cylinder with 3/4 ports on both ends, I think I'm going to increase that speed by a little bit. I don't know that for certain, but we're going to see what happens. Nonetheless, that's the build on my splitter. I've since then I decided to keep it 4-wheeled. It makes it convenient. And I left, when I built my splitter, I actually left enough room between my log lift and my rear axle to where I can stand right here. I normally run by myself, or normally I'm splitting and working by myself. So I always was frustrated when I would load the log lift. You load the log lift and then you walk around to the other side. It's not really that big of a deal, but to me it was, because I try to cut everything off to this side, load the log lift, and then I stay on this side right here and split. And my splitter's compact enough that I can still reach and grab rounds right here. And I really like being able to run. I kept my valve on this side. I don't get crazy with moving my wedge lift up and down a whole lot. I'm typically trying to get smaller splits on the bottom side. I keep it mostly I keep it set in one spot unless I get to some smaller rounds, some like 8-inch rounds, and then I want to go smaller, or then I go up to a 9-inch round or 10-inch round. I want to get a little bit bigger, just make a decent size split. I'll do that. So I really like having my log lift shoved forward a little bit because I can stand comfortably right here, feed the rounds with my right hand, and operate the levers with my left hand. To me, it's become second nature instead of walking around to the other side. So that's just some small things that I've done. Um, I've probably got I've got about $400 in hoses. I've got 400 in the auto cycle valve, and I think I've got, so that's 800. I've got Uh, I've got 365. So I've got about $1,200 in hoses and valves. I paid $500 for the splitter 15 years ago. So I'm sitting at, what would that be? I think here. So I had 1,300, 1,800. Got about 1,800 in that. I've got about $1,800 in it total right now. Oh no, take that back. I've got 2,000 in it. I've got 2,000 in the splitter right now because I also bought a 22-gallon a minute pump. So I did buy that. I bought it from Ruggedmade. The engine, which is a Predator 420, I did some work for a buddy of mine, rebuilt his processor, and he ended up giving me the engine. So I've got nothing in the engine. I've got around $2,000 in the whole build. Probably you would probably be close to being able to do that. It would probably be more like 3,000 to 4,000 if you built the same splitter without scavenging things together. The wheels and tires on the rear of the splitter towards the splitter box, those came off an old hay wagon that we got. Someday I'll have to replace them, but right now it is what it is. Dad, Dad'll just have to deal with it for right now. So, anyways, that's what I've got going on, and I've been tickled with it. It's done good for me for the past 15 years, but it's really done good for me the past 2 years. So there's really nothing to it. If you just set your mind to it, you can piece something together. Um, I have I've studied every log splitter you can think of. I go to Paul Bunyan show every year for work, and I eyeball everything. And I've talked about this in the past that those guys that build these splitters, Easton Made, Wolf Ridge, all the name brand splitters out there, they're all fantastic people. Um, they might not make every customer happy because you can't make every customer happy. I deal with customer service. I'm a forestry service manager at a Tiger Cat dealership. You can't make every one of them happy, but you try your best. Andrew's one that has talked to me for, I've known him for probably uh, 14 years, I think, that I've been going to Paul Bunyan show. And whenever he first started, it couldn't have been his second year with Easton Made, the actual Easton Made orange and blue splitters. And he sat down and talked to me and drew up a schematic. And I need to dig that up somewhere because I'm pretty sure I still have it. But he drew up a schematic to me of how their circuit was and give it to me. I told him my story, told him what I did, what I do, and he gave me the schematic. And I give him a lot of credit for some of the stuff that I've done to get to where I'm at. He's a fantastic person, great company. Chris Wolf is as well. Chris and Bob, they're fantastic people. You couldn't go wrong with one of them. But if you have the means to weld and you have some hydraulic capabilities, you can build one of these. And Ryan Behringer from Federal Fluid Power is another really good one to get a hold of. There's stuff that these guys are doing with box store county line splitters that you can take and you can add that dump valve and you can add that regen valve to speed your cycle time up on one of them. It don't really speed your split cycle up, but it speeds your time up. If you've got a 24-inch splitter and you're splitting 16-inch stuff, it speeds that dead spot up between 24 and 16 tremendously. So there's all kinds of options for everyone out there that wants to speed their splitter up. It can be done. You just need to reach out to the right people and try it. So again, thanks guys for tuning in and listening to me ramble. If you guys got any questions or any concerns or got any questions how I done things, reach out to me. I'll be glad to help you every bit I can. I'm that's how I got to where I'm at is with everyone talking to me, everyone explaining to me how they done it, explaining to me how they built theirs. There's some pretty cool stickers on that hydraulic tank too. That hydraulic tank came off of I want to say it was an F650, I believe. It came off of an F650 Ford service truck that got replaced or got, I don't know why. I have no idea why we even had it, but nonetheless, there's the Franken splitter in a nutshell. So again, if you guys got any questions or any concerns, leave me a comment. Hope you guys enjoyed this. and at least gave you what I did to it. So thanks for watching. We'll catch you guys on the next one.